Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Monster vs. Monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel. How's everyone doing this fine Monday night in February 2023? I'm just dating the video. Give me a minute. In any event, how's everyone doing? I'm having a good time. And what are we here for? We're here for some sweet Monster vs. Monster action. Who's gonna win tonight's fight? Some afraid of the sun elves who are no longer afraid of the sun, or some monstrosities, you know, lurking through the tunnels of the underdark. Who knows? You be the judge. Take the poll in the live chat, and we will go from there and see who wins at the end of this. Usually about an hour-long combat. You know, it was a little crazy at first, but now I've gotten it pretty good to about an hour. So strap in for the next 60 minutes or so as we go into some Monster vs. Monster battles here. No heroes, just monsters. And what are we looking at tonight? Well, this was another requested one of, you know, Drow monsters, quote-unquote monsters, humanoids, versus some monstrosities of the Underdark. So we have ourselves a few Drows. We have Aun, a Drow Inquisitor, Lesetar, a Drow Shadowblade, and Riziln, a Drow House Captain. And why are these Drow here looking, you know, going through? Why do they have an Inquisitor and a Shadowblade and a House Captain? Well, if you remember a while back, there was another episode where we had Drow versus Shadar Kai. And in that episode, the Shadar Kai destroyed the Drow that were out, you know, investigating a problem. So maybe these elves are looking for their comrades that have gone missing. And what do they come across? Well, they come across a bunch of monstrosities. And in this episode, we have ourselves a Nagpa by the name of Vaenoth. And that one goes out to my buddy Justin from the Adventure Podcast. He's currently DMing Season 4 and has been a player since Season 3. So if you haven't checked that one out, I highly recommend the Adventure Podcast. It's a fun, lighthearted D&D actual play podcast. And then we have ourselves a Froghemoth. A Froghemoth here, a huge monstrosity. We'll say the Nagpa is riding on the back of it, and its name is Denab. Denab the Froghemoth. And then going in tow with them is Bashitar, a Grick Alpha. We'll probably say that at some point down the line, this Nagpa, who is basically a wizard, has, you know, gotten these two monstrosities under its control, and they're just kind of going through the Underdark for some reason. Why? I don't know, man. I have no idea. You come up with the things why this is happening, and it'll become canon. Let's see here. If you mean Mord's ripoff of Rick Sanchez's Drow PCs still have sunlight sensitivity, they were not in the book. Ah, true. How could I forget Monster vs. Monster? Emo versus Goth. Yes, exactly. The emos versus Goth, ELG. Are the Drow gonna croak? That is a fantastic question, Hair Doctor. Excellent with the puns there. I love it. Keep it coming. So, with our introductions out of the way, let's take a look at our characters real quick here. We have the Drow Inquisitor, who has, let's see here, probably some spell casting. Oh, joy. We have a whole bunch of spells I need to understand real quick. Well, Darkness could be good. Not really, though. Detect Thoughts. Fairy Fire is about the only thing that will probably come in handy. Suggestion, maybe. Silence could be extremely helpful against that wizard. Once they get a spell off, you know that silence is going to be hit pretty quick if they survive. And then we have Dancing Lights, Messages, and Thaumaturgy, as well as a couple other features here. We got multi-attack of... let's see here, 3 Death Lance attacks. We got a Death Lance, and yeah, that's a whole lot going on there. We have a Spectral Dagger, which is basically the Drow version of Spiritual Weapon. I was looking at that before. I got a little ahead of myself. And then we have our House Captain and our Shadowblade, which we've seen before from the, you know, the Emo versus Goth battles. Nothing too fancy here. We got Levitate, Darkness, and Fairy Fire once again. And we have a couple other abilities here, which will come in handy. And then Riziln is our House Captain. No spells except for the standard fare, as well as, you know, some abilities and actions here. A whip, hand crossbow, and a bunch of other things that we can take a look into. Yeah, I think that may put on my dark sense of humor. Please do. And then down here for our monsters, or monstrosities, we have the Nagpa, Vaenoth, with a spellbook of, let's see here, Dominate Person, Etherealness, Feeble Mind, which could be handy, Fireball, Fly, Hold Person, Suggestion, Wall of Fire, again, could be also helpful, And then Detect Magic, Mage Hand, Massage, or Message, and Minor Illusion. And then for features, we have Deathly Ray, Staff, Multi-Attack, Corruption, Paralysis, and Spellcasting. So let's take a look at this Corruption real quick here. Nagpa can target one person 90 feet, makes a Charisma save, and then is charmed for so much time. That's interesting. And we have Paralysis, Paralyzed. Okay, good enough. And our multi-attack here is going to be 3 Staff or Deathly Ray attacks. And it replaces one of those with its use of spellcasting. Good to know! So we can cast a Fireball and 2 Deathly Rays. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. And then let's take a look at Denab here, our Froghemoth. Well, obviously nothing in the spellbook. And we have a multi-attack of, let's see here, 1 bite and 2 tentacle attacks. And it can use Tongue. So let's take a look at Tongue. Tongue is going to be a DC strength save. On failed save, it pulls a target, an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the Froghemoth. So yeah, it just kind of pulls it in close and then eats it, I'm sure. And then for the bite, we have, yes, sure enough, a bite attack plus a whole bunch of restraining things for being inside its belly, I'm sure. And the Froghemoth can only have up to 2 creatures inside of it at one time. So that'll be fun. And then we have a tentacle attack, which, you know, standard fare here. So that is our Froghemoth, and then for Bashitar, our Grick Alpha, obviously nothing in the spellbook, and then for our actions we have Tail, Tentacle, Beak, and the multi-attack, as well as Stone Camouflage. So in theory, we could use Stone Camouflage down here for the Grick Alpha, if it was, you know, doing some stealthy things. But, you know, maybe not, maybe it was just running around with the Nagpa in tow, so they weren't really expecting a fight. Who knows? I don't know why Nagpa sounds a lot like Grandpa to me. Probably the way I'm saying it. Nagpa, Grandpa, who knows? And then for a multi-attack, we have 2 attacks. One with its tail and one with its tentacle. If it hits with the tentacle, the Grick then makes 1 bite attack at the same target. So we'll keep that in mind. And with our introductions and understanding our monsters out of the way, let's go ahead and begin combat. Alright, so we have ourselves a whole bunch of d20s to roll here. Let's take a look at see who gets to go first. Rolling those d20s, and we have them hitting the screen now. Let's go over to see who our order looks like. And it looks like we have Lasatar, our Shadowblade going first with a 23. Vaynoth with a 21 going next. Aoun going third with a 13th. Denab going fourth with a 9. Bashitar with an 8, and Riziln with an 8 as well. So let's see real quick. What is the dexterity score? 16 for our Grick, and for our house captain, we also have a 19. So we're going to modify this ever so slightly. And let's see here. Update combatant, we'll say 8.1. There we go. So this person gets to go a little bit ahead. Go Team Monsters! Hey, Clawpaw, welcome to see ya. Welcome in, good to see ya. I just can't believe I just blended those two. Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those nights, I'm sure. Alright, now, let's get to combat number 1 with, Lasatar. Yeah, begin combat, there we go. Ooh, the drum rolls. Alright, moving up, let's take a quick look again at Lasatar and see what we got. We have Fairy Fire. And that's going to be a 20-foot cube. And how far out is that going to be from the spellbook here? Fairy Fire is a 60-foot range. So, seeing our combatants ahead here, how far out are we? We're looking at 70 feet, so more than likely we can go ahead and move up our 30 feet, avoiding any kind of sludginess here. And we'll say, yeah, 30 feet right to there. And then they're going to go ahead and use their innate ability to Fairy Fire the monsters down here and see if they can light them up a little bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and cast ourselves Fairy Fire. We're going to... How far out can we go here? What's the furthest we can go? Yeah, okay. Oh, alright, hold up. Gotta get rid of that. So we should be good. I'm gonna have to recast real quick. Yeah, let's do it again. There we go. Okay, so this should be good enough. That'll get all of them. So, what do we got going on here? Well, it looks like 2 of our monsters failed. They're already glowing green, as you can see by the rings here. But our Vaynoth, our Nagpa, looks like it probably resisted. And on the side here, we have a DC 13 dex save to check. Bashitar fails with an 11, so is now lit up like a Christmas tree. As well as Denab, who fails with a 5, and Vaynoth succeeds with a 22. So luckily, Vaynoth is not lit up, and that is Lasatar's first go. Let's see here. ELG says, normally I suggest climbing on the enemies so they can't attack you, but every large or larger creature has tentacles over there, all over the shop. So, exactly. Yes, Clawpaw has returned from the depths of the abyss. Welcome back, Clawpaw. Thank you so much for being here once again. Alright, so that is Lessatar's turn, and we will go ahead and move on to Vaynoth. So, Vaynoth is kind of riding on the back of Denab. We'll just go ahead and say... What's he going to do here? So he's going to multi-attack. He can replace one of the attacks with spell casting. And since he can go ahead and do that, he's going to... First of all, let's get rid of all that targeting there. And I saw Fly. So let's take a look at Fly here. We can do this innately. We're going to go ahead and cast Fly on ourselves. Yep, we're going to cast that spell. Ooh, look at that. Up arrows. So now, Vaynoth is concentrating on Fly as part of the attacks. Is going to move up a little bit off to the side here. We'll say, that's good enough. Go right there. I'm sure that's probably as far as it can fly anyways. And we will go ahead and give, we'll say 15 feet up in the air, which is cool. Off to the side. And since Lessatar's close enough, we will go ahead and target them with our Deathly Ray attacks. So let's close up spellcasting here. We will switch over to the spell icon and go for that first Deathly Ray attack. Alright, attack number 1 of 2 in this case. Oof, critical fail on that first hit. Unfortunately, there's no spell effects, which is sad, but we will go ahead and go on to the next attack. And because we did a spellcast to do the flying, we have a total of 28 to hit, and that is... Oh, look at that! Well, we got a couple things going on here. First, we have our 2-hit, 28 to hit, definitely hits Lessatar. Then we deal 34 points of necrotic damage from that Deathly Ray attack of, the multi-attack. So, then, because of that, we need to make ourselves, or Lessatar needs to make a Constitution saving check of DC 17, and unfortunately fails with a 9, which means our Fairy Fire is gone now. No more Fairy Fire. It was a good attempt. A good attempt, but unfortunately did not do anything. Alright, well, that's a move... Ooh, excuse me. I almost swallowed some spit down the wrong tube. Alright, so that's Vaynoth's attack, multi-attack, and the spell casting, and is flying off to the side there. So that is their move, and we are good to go here. And we could have moved a little further if we wanted to. 60 feet's good enough for now. He will, test the waters. Vaynoth will decide what's going on here. And up next we have Aoun. Aoun is going to... What is Aoun going to do? Let's take a look at our spells here again. We have that whole levitate. We have silence. Silence could be good. That could be a way to kind of control. Let's take a look at that silence. I like that idea. Now that they've seen some spells going off here. Well, that lasted about as long as the average flashbang. It really was. That's really funny. Alright, silence has 120-foot range. Let's see how far out we are here from Vaynoth. We are currently 80 feet away. Alright, nice and easy. So Aoun's going to give themselves a little bit of range here. And she will go ahead and hit Vaynoth with a silence area. Alright, so let's see here. Go back to the spell casting. Click on that there's silence. And we'll do it right about there. Yeah, that should be... Yeah, I'd like that. I think that's... I don't know. That looks good to me. That's going to have Vaynoth have to move a little bit. So they are currently in a zone of silence. Ooh, look at those. Look at that spell silence swirl. Alright, everything is deafened in there for the time being, and no spells can be cast. Alright, so that is our Inquisitor's turn. They should be concentrating on that. And we move on to Denab, who, it's a big old monster boy. The big old monster boy is just going to go ahead and move on up. So let's see here. What do we have for our ranges? Just to double check here. Let's see. It looks like 20 foot on tentacle and 5 foot for the bite. Okay. And then our multi-attack is what? 1 bite and 2 tentacle attacks, and it can use tongue. Alright, so the Froghemoth targets 1 medium or smaller creature that it can see within 20 feet of it. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on up. So we can go 30 feet. And, because we're in the water here, but not completely submerged, it's fine. It's fine. So Denab's going to go ahead and go all the way up there. Let's see here. The star is, right within 20 feet. Not too good. Yeah, he don't care about the silence. Not at all. Not a bit whatsoever. So Lestar is going to be targeted by Denob's, let's see here, tongue ability. We got the use feature. We're going to go ahead and use tongue because in our multi-attack, it can also use tongue. Doesn't say necessarily in what order. And we're going to go ahead and do tongue. So, the Frog Heathmith makes targets one medium creature within 20 feet, and Lestar fails. The DC 18 strength saving throw and gets pulled into within 5 feet of Denob. So, we are just going to move Denob right there next to, Lessatar, right to within Denob's reach. Hey, Flame Loud, welcome aboard! No clue why I came from below, but I'm voting for it. Also, hi, just got here. Welcome aboard, Flame Loud. Thank you so much for being here. You are just within halfway through round 1. As we have a silence, we had a fairy fire go up, but that kind of was up and down like a flashbang, like ELG had said. And we have ourselves a Nagpaw that just got hit into a zone of silence. So, Denob's gonna munch down on the star here. And gets to do, what was it? I already forgot. Let's take a look at that multi-attack option again here. 1 bite and 2 tentacle attacks. Alright, well, bite number 1 on Lessatar. It's going to be a 2, total of 12, misses, and could have done 34 points of damage, and goes in for 2 tentacle attacks. Alright, let's see what happens here. Tentacle attack number 1. That's going to be a base 14, total of 24, for a total of 19 points of damage hitting Lessatar. And we're getting there. We are definitely about a third of the way through. And then for the final attack, base 4, total 14, misses Lessatar again. That is an interesting spell effect there for a tentacle attack. All right. Well, in any event, that is Denob's turn as he is thudded, like thoom, 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 jumping forward because it's a frog hemoth. Come on, this thing is definitely jumping in this cave system for sure. Just a little bit of tremors, and Lessatar's felt the grab here. Now, one thing we gotta look at though is tentacle did hit, so the target's grappled with a DC 16 escape check. So we gotta go ahead and give Lessatar a grapple check here. Not a grapple check, but a condition. So we'll go ahead and slap that on. All right. And Lessatar can no longer move, but we'll see what happens in a moment, because, they're Drow. Maybe they got some tricks up their sleeve. And then up next we have Riziln. I like that. Riziln. Cool. Our house captain. And we've got the same spells again. Not like they're really going to help out in this effect. So, let's take a look at our multi-attack options here. We got 2 scimitar attacks and 1 whip or hand crossbow attack. And then, we also have battle command. Choose 1 creature within 30 feet of the drow that can see. If the chosen creature can see or hear the drow, that creature can use its reaction to make 1 melee attack. Or take the dodge or hide action. Well, we'll definitely use that battle command to help out there. So, let's see here. First of all, let's go ahead and move up 30 feet. And we're going to have Lessatar go ahead and do that extra attack there. So let's get rid of that real quick. Actually, no, we'll do that. And we'll click that. And the bonus action to battle command. There we go. Lessatar is being battle commanded to make an attack. So we'll go ahead and switch the attack to here. And Lessatar will go ahead and use their already drawn, quote-unquote, Shadow Sword? Yes, it just kind of grips. It's there and goes in for the attack. Alright, base 11, total of 20, hits Denob for a whopping 23 points of necrotic damage. And that's a pretty good amount here, as we can see. Not too bad at all. Now, Riziln can obviously only do 1 attack, because we got the whip, but that's not close enough. We are, was that 20 feet away? So we can only do the hand crossbow attack, unfortunately. But still, it'll be a good shot against Denob here, who is big enough to not have to worry about any kind of extra ACs. And that's going to be base 13, total of 21 to hit, dealing 7 points of piercing damage, and has to make a Constitution save. So let's see here. For the Constitution save, we have a DC 13, or be poisoned for 1 hour. If the saving throw fails by 5 or more, the target's unconscious and poisoned. In this way. Otherwise, it only does a little bit of damage. And, it did 7 and then was reduced to 3 because our monster has resistance, apparently, to something. Why did that get reduced? Oh, because it failed the Constitution save. Alright, we gotta revert that real quick. Put in the full damage. There we go. Full 7 points of damage. Very good. ELG, what do you got here? It's pretty weird that the tongue attack lets the Froghemoth bite as a bonus action anyway. I mean, it doesn't have any other bonus actions to use that anyway, so why not use tongue always? Exactly. Definitely would want to do that. Did I miss something there? I'll look into it. Actually, yeah, let's take a look at that real quick. With the tongue action here. The target must make a scene. On a failed save, the target is pulled into an occupied space within 5 feet of it. Yes. Okay. Alright, I didn't miss anything. Looks like it's all good to go. Okay, so Resilin does a little bit of damage. Tried to put Denab to sleep, but that didn't help. And that is everything that Resilin can do at this current moment, unfortunately. Alright, up next is Bashatar, who is our Grick Alpha. And let's take a look here. Movement is 30, climb is 30 as well. And can't really do too much at the moment. Can't see the drow that moved off to the side, and it is a monster, so it's probably going to just buzz right along here to get within range. You know, they got basic instincts. Let's see here. What are we looking at for intelligence? Yeah. Basic instincts. You know, the Nagpaw's probably telling them to go move forward, so it's gonna scuttle right on up to here. And then do another 30 feet to... Where are we going to go? Yeah, we'll do something like this. There we go. And uses both actions to get right up into Rilzin's face. Oh, okay. Never mind. ELG. It has an extra bit about being as a bonus action on hit. Yeah, that might be the older version, because I am using the Monsters of the Multiverse version. At least I should be. Oh, no, this is the Monster Manual version. Oh, no. I'm looking at the wrong creature. Yes, this is the Monsters of the Multiverse version. So they probably updated it from Volos or something. I don't remember exactly where the Froghemoth was from. Alright, so that is the end of round 1 here of our Drow versus Monstrosities. And so far we're looking at a little bit of damage. Some spells have gone up and down, and some Drow getting ready to do some other things here. So, let's get back to the top of round 2 here, and do a roll of our D100 to see if something happens. You know what I'm saying? Alright, D100. We got a 1% chance of something bizarre happening here. And on that D100, we have a 44, which means nothing happens. Herr Doctor, how is Nagpah telling them this if he is in Silent Zone? Well, Herr Doctor, maybe gestures and communications. Who knows? The Nagpah's been with them for some time. Maybe the whole, like, I'm doing hand gestures right now. You can't see it, but yeah. Hype for round 2. Definitely Clawpaw. Definitely. And ELG, yep, we just went and checked. I guess poor Mr. Frog got nerfed. Yeah, a little bit of a nerf. I'll have to, now that I've done this video, I might have to do some CR checks for the Froghemoth of the old versus the new and see how they compare. That could be a decent, actual, normal video. I'm actually, you know, trying to do videos as well, instead of just shorts. Anyways, top of round 2, as nothing special happens from our D100 check, with only a 1% chance, going up every 1% from there on. Yes, Common Sign Language was added in one D&D. They're using that. Exactly. We'll say that our Nagpah here has trained them in gestures as well. Alright, Lessatar has been dragged forward, is grappled, and is doing okay for the moment. So let's go ahead and see what we can do here. We have some features, and I'm looking for a bonus action. The Shadow Step, that's what I'm looking for. Technically, we'll say that, you know, even though stuff is kind of glowing a little bit here, it is the Underdark, and it's not enough for it to be, you know, anything but dim light. So we can definitely do a Shadow Step to get out of that grapple. So what we're going to do first is our multi-attack. And the multi-attack is going to be 3 Shadow Sword attacks. One of them can be a hand crossbow attack if need be, or to use the spellcasting to cast Darkness. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to have them go ahead and attack. So, we got our Denab here targeted, and we're going to go ahead and make 3 Shadow Sword attacks. Alright, let's see how attack number 1 goes. And that's going to be a base 16, total of 25. Definitely hits Denab for a total of 28 necrotic damage, which isn't reduced. Attack number 2 is going to be a base 15. Another hit with a total of 24 as the Shadow Sword swipes and wounds Denab, who croaks in frustration, taking 29 points of necrotic damage, and then 1 more Shadow Sword attack as Lessatar goes and swipes for base 14, total of 23 points of damage, dealing another 28 points of necrotic damage. And then from there, we use our bonus action to Shadow Step up to 60 feet into an unoccupied space. So, let's see here. we're going to, one, get rid of that grappled effect, so we no longer have that, and he is going to shadow teleport, we'll say, off over here, where he technically can't be seen by Denab. So now he is out of the way, but he can still communicate with all of his other, Drow companions there. All right, Flame Loud. Oh, I'd be interested in in more normal videos. Interested in how form that would take. Yeah, I'm trying out something right now. I'm working on a couple normal videos for the whole Black Flag playtest packet that came out. So I'm gonna try that. It's something a little different, but hopefully, could be interesting for anyone that's curious. All right, so that's Lessitar's turn. They've technically moved with their bonus action. They've attacked, and that's the end of Lessitar's turn. Now we go to Vaenoth, who is in a zone of silence, who's kind of annoyed and a little pissy, and is going to fly. Let's see here. Can't see the Drow that teleported there. So we just got the two here. What's the range on these two? 30 feet? Yeah. Vaenoth's going to come fly over 35 feet to here. Still has a whole bunch of flying speed left. Sees Lessitar over here. And we're going to try out a fireball. Since we have that, we got 2 casts of fireball. Let's see what we got here. 20-foot sphere. We can definitely hit those two. All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and... Nope. Casting with the wrong person here. There we go. We'll get that fireball template out. And we're going to go and do this as we hit a big old BAM! Fireball! Okay. So, let's see here. What do we got going on? Well, it looks like we've got a DC 20 deck save. And that's going to be for a total of 29 points of fire damage. Aun fails with a 6, and Rizuln succeeds exactly with a 20. So, we've got full damage on Aun and half damage on Rizuln. And that's going to be, a little bit down here, as you can see the change in damages. And then we have a concentration check for Aun, who fails with a 13 against a DC 14, and the silence spell, unfortunately, is gone. But even though, Vaenoth has moved off, it doesn't really matter much anymore to have that silence spell in place. So we've gone ahead and had a little bit of flight there. Vaenoth cackles gleefully, and will move back with the remaining fly of, 60 total, went 35? We'll say goes back to there a little bit, and ends the fire on their turn. So that will end there, and we will move on as Vaenoth is gleefully cackling here. Do we have any bonus actions? What do we got? The Nagpa targets one creature can see within 90 feet of it and must make a charisma saving throw or be charmed or paralyzed. A creature within 30 feet. Yeah, we're not going to worry about those. I'm not too concerned about that at the time being. The frog should consider running away. Yeah, probably. I mean, it is bloodied. We are not outnumbered, though, so in essence... The tides haven't turned too terribly bad right now. It is still early. So we could do like a morale check on our frog hemoth. We'll see what happens. All right, next up is Aun. And Aun is going to... Let's see here. What can we do next? Not much in the way of spells. Nothing too terribly great. Could do a suggestion, but so low. The DC 18's not terrible. We got Darkness. That could be handy. Actually, that could be very handy. Since, the monsters here are so close. Well, that's true seeing, though, as well. Let's just go in for the attacks here. Let's see. We got a Death Lance. And what are the ranges here? We multi attack. Can we throw it? I don't think we can throw it. No, it doesn't look like it can be thrown, which is unfortunate. Spectral Dagger, Discern Life, doesn't really matter. I could imagine Nagpa flying looking like it's on a rocking chair. It is kind of old, so it could be rocking about. That'd be really funny. Oh, man. That's great. Discern Lie, excuse me. Spectral Dagger. Oh, right. We have that as well. Okay, so let's see here. We got 30-foot movement. What are we doing? Got this. So it comes and hops over to here. Can't really do much. Let's see what we got for spells, since we can't really get up there for an attack right away. Let's see. Wonder. Yeah, that's not going to help anything. And suggestion is 30 feet. Yeah, we're just going to do the fairy fire, and we're going to do a bonus action as well. So we're going to go ahead and do the fairy fire. We'll see about lighting these two up again. Okay, so that's going to be the first action with fairy fire. And we have DC 18. Denab fails with a 15. Bashatar succeeds with a 21. So Denab is glowing like a Christmas tree again. And then we'll go ahead and summon for the bonus action the Spectral Dagger. Alright, so technically it was only supposed to be 1, not 2. Which was interesting. We were going to say Denab anyways, since that was going to give advantage. And we will revert any damage here. There we go. Revert it off of Bashatar. And let's see here. So, Drow conjures a flooding spectral. It makes a melee spell attack with a d20 plus 10. Okay. So we'll go ahead and hit that d20, which we didn't do. That's a 16, and it's glowing, so we will go ahead and roll one more. We're looking for crits. We're crit hunting. All right, so 26 will definitely hit, and we will deal that 7 points of force damage to Denab. So that will be the attack. It is a Spectral Dagger. We'll say it's like right here. I can't bring up anything quick enough, so we'll do with that. Oh, Levitate the Worm. Shoot, that would have been a good idea. Darn it. I'll think of that. I'll do something like that next turn here, Doctor. I totally missed that. Darn, that's really good. Alright, that's Aoon's turn. Moved, casted, and bonus actioned. Alright, we got Denab next. And Denab, you know, we'll do a morale check here. Let's see. Wisdom. It's pretty hurt here. Oh, I got a cat crying at me. Let's see here. Yeah, ever since playing the Artificer, imagine Fairy Fire is a glitter bomb. It really is, basically. That's a fantastic way of looking at it. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Let's see here. Wisdom save. It's hurting. It's not... we'll say DC 10 save. Anything over that, and it succeeds and will stick around. Alright, so we're going to do a ability check here. And it's a 6, so it's going to run. It's going to fear for its life. So we will have it back out the way it came. So it's going to go ahead and start running that way. And it'll go that far because, it's not too terribly hurt at the moment. It's not going to completely dash away because it still has its master calling for it. Alright, up next is Riziln. And Riziln is going to attack the Grick Alpha since it's right here. Okay. What we got for attacks? We got the scimitars, the whips, and the hand crossbow. And it's multi-attack of 2 scimitars and 1 whip attack. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, we got ourselves a 2 scimitars. Scimitar attack number 1 against Bashatar. 11 base, total of 19 hits for 22 points of slashing and poison damage. And it looks like we have partial resistance here, probably from that poison damage. Attack number 2 is going to be a natural 20. There we go. First one for the night. Total of 32 points of damage and a partial resistance of only 28 points of damage, totally wounding the Grick Alpha. And I said, nope. And then a whip attack. Let's see what happens with our house captain. And the house captain is going to miss with an 11. Could have dealt 8 points of slashing damage. Okay, we are ending the round here, and once again we have a wounded monster. And, we'll take a, we'll go ahead and make a wisdom save here for the checks. We do have Vainoth still up, so it's going to be a low check to save. And we will go ahead and see what happens here. 15, it stays because Vainoth is commanding it to do so. So Bashatar goes in for the attacks against Riziln. Alright, so we have ourselves, let's see, I think it's a whole bunch of everything, right? 1 tail and 1 with its tentacles, and if the tentacles hit, then we can bite. Alright, so first off, we will do the tail attack, which is, that's the beak, that's the tentacles, and that's the tail. Okay, there we go. Attack number 1 with the tail. Let's get real close. Ooh, that was a nice swipe. I like that. Base 14 misses Resume with a 7. Then we go in for the tentacle attack. And we will go ahead and roll the attack for the tentacle. And that's going to be, oh, another fail of a base 3 to hit. Oof, that is not going to do anything. As both the attacks miss, and we can't do the beak attack because the tentacles didn't pull it in. So that is the bottom of round 2 as we move into the top of round 3 here. And as we move into round 3, we'll go ahead and roll that D100. Now we have a 2% chance of something happening. And let's see what happens. And we have a 69. Nice. Unfortunately, that doesn't proc anything. I'm looking for a 100 or a 99. Should come up with some kind of special rules for a 69, I suppose. Oh boy. Anyways, moving on. Top of the round here, we have Lessitar, who is seeing the monstrosity rush off, and they can throw their shadow blade. So we're gonna go ahead and have Lessitar move up. Argawalla thing, thank you for joining, and yes, I know what you did there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and have Lessitar move in to finish off the monstrosity, and we're going to go ahead and throw a couple shadow swords here. And, oop, I don't want to cast, I want to multi-attack. Yes, going to throw three swords. Alright, so, attack number 1, since it's glowing, it does hit with a total of 27, dealing 32 points of damage. We'll throw again for a natural 20. That's the second one for tonight. Oh my god, look at all those dice. And Danab has been defeated with 52 points of necrotic damage. Oh, man, that's basically an overkill right there. I see what you did, Clawpaw. Very nice. Let's see here. What is the range on our Shadow Sword? 30 or 60 feet? How far are we from there? Okay, yeah, he's going to totally turn and attack Bashatar with the last of 3 attacks, and we'll roll at disadvantage. That's alright. Both of those definitely miss. And misses with a 13. Could have dealt 27 points of damage as he throws 2 Shadow Swords and then goes and yeah, that one, I meant to do that one. As we finish off Lessitar's turn. Up next is Vaynoth. Let's take a look at Vaynoth here and see what he's going to do. Well, Vaynoth is kind of annoyed at the situation here, sees a very hurt and wounded Lessitar, so he's going to fly over here, we'll say 40 feet, and is going to target Lessitar with his abilities. So we don't have anything too terribly crazy for casting spells. Let's take a look at the list real quick. He's the entire circus. That he is. Well, we have a Dominate Person, we have Enfeeble Mind, Fireballs, Fly, Hold Person, Suggestion, Wall of Fire, and Detect Magic. Wall of Fire could be good. That could be a way to kind of block off and, you know, deal with these one at a time. But I also like the idea of, you know, just going in here and kind of attacking with these Deathly Rays, because these things are nasty. So we're going to go ahead and target Lessitar with a Deathly Ray and see what happens. So attack number 1 is going to be pew pew, 10 total, 22 to hit, which will hit for 36 points of damage, wounding Lessitar. And that's going to be a whole bunch of necrotic damage. Attack number 2, more pew pews. Base 5 hits again with a 17, and that's going to be 27 more points of damage. And then because Vaynoth is still concentrating on flying, definitely can't do the Wall of Fire, unfortunately. We're going to go ahead and do the final attack against him. Base 2 misses Lessitar with a 14. So Vaynoth has gone ahead and flown 40 feet. He's going to double back another 20 just to make it a little harder to be hit. And yeah, we've got ourselves a pretty wounded Drow over there. Hair Doctor, let's see here. He's pissed that someone's killed his frog. Does the Drow know how hard it is to get one? I know, exactly. That's the problem. Now he's going to go back, train another frog hemoth. It's like a whole 2-month-long process. It's ridiculous. Anyways, moving on. That's Vaynoth's turn. Flew, did 3 attacks, almost killed Lessitar in 1 shot. And now we have Aoun, who is concentrating on the Fairy Fire here. Doesn't really matter much. So we're going to go ahead and see. Let's see what we got here. We do have that Levitate, which was kind of fun. But we do have room to do the 3 Drow Lance attacks. I really want to see how hard these hit. So, we're going to have him come on up and target Bashatar for the attacks. And we get to make 3, I think it was. Yes, 3 Death Lance attacks. So let's go ahead and make Death Lance attack number 1 with a base 6, total of 16 misses, which could have dealt 30 points of piercing and necrotic damage. Attack number 2 is going to be base 11, total of 21 to hit. This hits for 28 points of necrotic damage. And then the final swipe, can Aoun finish off the Grick Alpha? And it looks like with the base 10 we have a total of 20. Yes, the Bashatar has been finished off. And that is our Monstrosities almost defeated here at the top of round 3. Aoun's turn is done. She's moved 25 feet. We'll have her back up 5 more feet here just to get a little bit of room between her and Vaynoth. And we move on to Riziln, who is going to... what can Riziln do? Well, Riziln's going to move up close and go ahead and make some attacks. Vaynoth is up here 15 feet up in the sky. Yes, definitely a bonk. And we'll go ahead and attack with whatever abilities he has. So let's see here. What we got for abilities? Spellbook, we have Levitate, which could be hilarious, actually. One creature or loose object of your choice that you can see within range up to 20 feet and remain suspended there for the duration. Yeah. So because our Drow House Captain doesn't have the greatest of ranged attacks, he's going to go ahead and levitate Vaynoth, in effect, negating the fly spell. So let's see how this works. Riziln's going to go ahead and use their ability to cast some spells and levitate Vaynoth. Let's see what happens. Okay, we have ourselves a DC 13 Constitution save, and Vaynoth fails. So Vaynoth is now levitating up in the air here, which will leave room for people to just attack. Okay, well then. Let's see here. Do we have anything? Yes, we are concentrating. She's going to go ahead and drop the concentration there on that, so we don't have to worry about that too much. And Riziln's turn is done. Levitating Vaynoth. Let's see, do we have a thing for levitate here or not? That would be really nice. Convenient effects. There we go. Thank you. Oh, sorry, cat. Nope, nothing for levitate, unfortunately. Okay, so we will just say that Vaynoth is now technically stuck because of the levitate ability. 20 feet in the air. Alright, and that's the end of round 3 here. And we will go to the top of round 4 with another D100 check to see if anything happens. I don't know. That's a really good question, and I think yes? Because we have a fly spell, so they can fly. But they're now being levitated. So I think first in, last out rules. I think technically levitate is stopping Vaynoth from flying. Someone want to look that up for me until we get to Vaynoth's turn, because Lessatar's turn is next, and I can spend a little bit of time rolling this D100, because we're looking for a 3% chance. Let's see here. D100, and we get a 54. Nothing happens, unfortunately. Okay, so Lessatar's turn. Lessatar is going to go ahead and move 30 feet up, and let's see here. We've got 20 feet up. What kind of range are we looking at here? Because we can throw within 30 feet. So I'm going to get my handy calculator out real quick. Let's get the calculator up. We are... how far are we here? Ooh, come here. Oh, I want... what's going on here? There we go. 20 feet out, 20 feet up. Let's go ahead and do some hypotenuse. 20 foot squared. A squared plus B squared. Yes. So plus another 400 equals that. And we will square root that. 20 feet. 28 feet. So Vaynoth, from the hypotenuse of Lessatar to Vaynoth, is 28 feet. So we are within range to be able to throw some shadow blades without it being disadvantage. Okay, so 3 shadow blades against Vaynoth. Ah, thank you, Hair Doctor. Levitate negates fly. Okay. Yeah, Vaynoth's going to be a bird in a cage, basically. Yeah, sitting duck at the moment. So we're throwing some shadow swords here at Vaynoth. We got a base 3, which misses. Total of 12, could have dealt 26 points of damage. Attack number 2. We have a base 5, misses with a 14. And then base, let's see here, third attack, base 12, total of 21, hits Vaynoth for 32 points of damage. That's a concentration check of DC 16, and Vaynoth succeeds with an 18, still holding on to his fly spell. So that's Lessatar's turn. Let's see what Vaynoth can do. Okay, Vaynoth has some spells, so let's take a look here. Mike says on Sage Advice, flight is unaffected. Well, I mean, it was worth a shot. Let's see what we got for spells for Vaynoth. Do we have any kind of way to get out of dodge spell? No, we don't have a teleport, it looks like. Features? Nope, nothing like that either. So, I think since it's kind of, well, why can't I think of a sitting duck joke? Alright. If Sage Advice is saying that flight is unaffected, I'm going to go with that. And unfortunately, Levitate doesn't get cancelled out, it seems. Vaynoth, Wayne Anonymous, thank you for piping up, or speaking up. Can't he Shadow Step? Vaynoth doesn't have any kind of way to Shadow Step, just has Corruption and Paralysis. And the new spellbook for the Monsters of the Multiverse version doesn't have any way to kind of disengage in that sense. So, if our Sage Advice is saying that flight is okay... Every other source, though, is saying that Levitate cancels even hovering flight. See, that's weird. I don't know what to do now, because Sage Advice is saying flight's okay, but everyone else is saying it's not. You know what? We'll do, oh, the Drow. Yes, the Drow could definitely Shadow Step if need be. We're going to do a 1d2. So a 1, we will go with Sage Advice, and a 2, we will go with everyone else. So let's get our 1d2 out, and let's see who wins. Coin toss! Alright, we're going with everyone else saying that flight is cancelled. So, Vaynoth is going to go ahead, and since he's kind of stuck and all the Drow are within range of each other, he's going to cast a fireball. Actually, you know what? No, if he's stuck, this is what he's going to do. He knows Rilzone is affecting him with the Levitate. So, we're going to go ahead and target Rilzone with a bunch of Deathly Rays, because more attacks means more chances to lose concentration. Yeah, suck it, Merles. Oh yes, Lessatar could potentially Shadow Step. Is there a recharge on that? Let me see here. Come on, features. There we go. No, it's just a bonus action. And, yeah, we'll have him just do that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Temkin couldn't move that. Yeah, whatever. Move along. Alright, so, Vaynoth is going to go ahead and attack Rilzone to drop the Levitate on him so he can get away. So this is what we're doing here. 3 Shadow, or Deathly Ray attacks, because we have our multi-attack here of 3. So we're going to go ahead and target Rilzone. So attack number 1. Critical hit, 32 to hit. That's 54 points of damage. And that is going to be a, let's see here. Critically hits Rilzone for 54 points of damage. That's critical for 3 for the night. Full damage, almost completely drops him into the critical. There we go. And Rilzone needs to make a concentration save. DC 27 off of a 54 and fails with a 14. So, Levitate is now gone. In all seriousness, the operative bit is probably this section from Levitate. The target can move only by pushing or pulling against a fixed surface. True. Yeah. It's tricky. But doesn't matter anymore because Rilzone lost concentration on Levitate. And Vaynoth is now free to move. Attack number 2, base 19. Oh, another, almost close to another crit. That's a second hit for 34 points of damage and 1 more Deathly Ray against Rilzone here for a total of 16 to hit. And that is 33 more points of damage. Rilzone is definitely hurt. And Vaynoth just mad dash flies 60 feet off this way. So, that is Vaynoth's turn. And round 4 is finishing off here with Vaynoth rushing away. Aeon's up next. What can Aeon do? Let's see here. Features. We have no Shadow Step, no way to move forward, but we do have some spell books. Let's see here. We have Suggestion and no Dominate. So, how far is the Suggestion? I think it's only 30 feet, right? Oh, let's see here. Suggestion is up here, 30 feet. Let's see here. Aeon's going to rush up 30. And how far out is Vaynoth from here? 50 feet. Can't do the Suggestion, which is unfortunate. Could try Dispelling Magic. I think we'll do that. Yeah, that is 1 deadly bird. Use the Froghemoth's corpse as cover. Yeah, technically, I'll have to back up a little bit so she can see. so she can see it. All right, so here's what's going to happen. She's going to attempt to dispel magic on Vaynoth. All right, to try and get rid of the fly. Let's see here. So, choose one creature, object, or magical effect within range. We're targeting the fly spell. And we're going to go ahead and dispel magic. Okay, so. Any spells of 3rd level or higher. Fly is what level spell? Let's see here. I got to look on my side here real quick. Does someone know what level spell fly is? Base, that is. Let's see here. I'm almost there. Fly is a 3rd level spell. Okay. Any spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends immediately. Alright, so Vaynoth falls 20 feet as the fly spell ends. Okay. And we'll take 20 points, or, 2d6 worth of fall damage and be knocked prone. Alright, so let's see here. Gotta say, I kind of prefer Pathfinder's rules for falling, because that would have been 10 points of damage. Yes, level 3. Thank you both, Hair Doctor and Wayne Anonymous. Vaynoth takes 7 points of fall damage and is prone for falling. Okay. And then we have Aeon moved and cast the magic. He's going to move up a little bit more. I think he could have gone there as far. And we have Rizil next. So long, suck! Very true. Alright, so let's see here. Rizil is going to run 15, jump, do a quick bit of a long jump, and end their turn over to here, kind of jumping and avoiding the water. And let's see here. Can't hit with the whip, but could make an attack there. What about features? What do we got for spells? Darkness, Fairy Fire, Levitate. I think we are out of Levitates. Yep, we're out of Levitates. That's it there. Okay, so we got one hand crossbow attack. Let's see if we can make that to potentially poison Vaynoth. And that's going to be a total of 8 and misses Vaynoth. And that's it for the round 4. We get to the bottom of round 4 and start round 5. We are, let's see here, top of round 5. We're going to go ahead and make that D100 check to see if anything crazy happens since we're still in combat. We're now with a 4% chance, and we have an 87. Ooh, so close to something happening, but nothing does, unfortunately. So that will be the top of round 5 as Lessitar comes in to try and figure out what is going on. So we're going to shadow step, and we'll do a whole, let's see here, 10, 15 to 30 there. Okay, 30 feet to there. It's going to use the shadow step ability. What are we doing here? Come on, target. There we go, shadow stepped. Okay, very good. And then we can do, what is it, 60 feet? Oof, that is a hefty distance. Oh, totally could have gone right here. All right, so we'll quick shadow step over to here. And is going to subdue. Is actually going to go and subdue Vaynoth. Let's see here. What do we have for spellbook? Anything good? Nothing really good there. Yeah, we'll go ahead and make a couple attacks. This is bonkers. All right, so first attack, going in for 3 spell attacks, right? Yeah, three Shadow Sword attacks. Okay, going in for attack. Oh, it's against himself. That's silly. All right, so 11 definitely would have missed the AC of 19 on Vaynoth. Get out of here, dice. What are you doing? Totally forgot you can play with the dice. All right, and then that'll be attack number 1 against Vaynoth. Attack number 2 is going to be, let's see here. At advantage with a base 11 for a total of 20. Hits Vaynoth. All right, we have to double check real quick that last one because Vaynoth was prone. And that would have been an 8, which I don't believe would have hit either way. No. All right. So the second attack hits with a 37, and then one more Shadow Blade attack is going to be, oh boy, natural 20 again, number 4 for the night. Total 59 points of damage, and Vaynoth is bloodied. Bloodied, folks. Let's see what happens here. Vaynoth is going to go ahead and, let's see here. From prone, sees he's not in such a good spot, is going to cast Fly on himself because he has one more casting of it. Yeah, ouchie, for sure. Cast Fly on himself, and then will, from prone, just start flying. And I'm going to say, technically can get the full movement. So Lecitar is going to get one more attack off against Vaynoth as he flies away at prone. Let's see what happens here. Ooh, base 6, total 15, misses Vaynoth, and Vaynoth makes a mad flying dash out of here. Let's see here. Yep, and gets away, flying, off the board. For 120 feet flying. Vaynoth, while Vaynoth and the Monstrosities did not win, the Drow were able to defeat the Monstrosity advances and were successful this night. Slides away dramatically across the floor. Yes, exactly, ELG. So funny. So, that is the end for our encounter here, and I'm going to end the poll with the Sunburnt Elves actually taking the win for this one. Unbelievable, folks. For those of you that voted for the Elves, you are tonight's winners for the poll here. Monstrosities, unfortunately, did not take the win. They just were no match for the Drow in this instance. Unbelievable. Just our secret technique, running away. So basically, they wandered in and murdered his pets. Rude. Yes, very rude. Indeed, it was rude. But now, the Drow here can continue to look for their missing companions and comrades, as they are still missing from the Goth and sad elf encounter a few episodes back. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us. This was a fun encounter, and let us get into a bit of the business here. The virtual tabletop I'm using is Foundry. I highly recommend anyone who doesn't have it get it, because it's better than any other tabletop out there, because it's not a service. You pay $50 once, and that's it. And then, on top of that, the battle map is by Neutral Party. You can get their battle maps at patreon.com/neutralparty. Links in the description. Names were created at fantasynamegenerator.com, except for Vaynoth. Vaynoth is a boss, big bad evil character from my buddy Justin's campaign, who I was playing in for his Sepra game. We're looking forward to a round 2 of Sepra coming up soon. And then, what else we got here? Yeah, a whole bunch of other stuff. Check the description for a whole bunch of links at the bottom there. You'll get all that. And, thank you all so much for joining in. Let's see here. Wayne Anonymous. Yes, it's based off of CR. You decide on what monsters are fighting. This was a CR 34 battle, so I combined a whole bunch together to get equal CR numbers. So Vaynoth was actually the highest CR with CR 17, but the close tie of our Drows here were pretty good. CR 14, CR 9, and CR 11 versus 17 for Vaynoth. The Frog Hemoth was a 10, and the Grick Alpha is a 7. Alright, anyways, thank you all so much for joining me. Clawpaw, Wayne Anonymous, Hair Doctor, Evil Lord Gravy, Flame Loud, and let's see here. Who else was in chat tonight? Thank you all so much for joining me as always. Argawalla Thing, thank you so much as well for joining. And scrolling through, I think that's everyone. Oh, and Tuscan at the very beginning there. I'm not sure what the 999 videos were about, but thank you so much for joining for this quick and fun battle of Monster vs. Monster here on the D&D CR Exposed YouTube channel. And if you've watched this as a video later on and got all the way to the end, you're amazing as well. And this is me, Andrew, asking the question as always, are your encounters even rated? Have a good night, folks. Thank you so much for joining me, and hopefully I will see you all tomorrow with the continuation of Session 2 for the Ever Sidequesters Venturings into the Pathfinder 2nd Edition tabletop role-playing game. I've been really itching to get back in there and playing that. It was so much fun, and I can't wait to see where they go from here after fighting a whole bunch of giant rats. Anyways, good night, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you all again so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.